it back in for the first center. But we see that so far it hasn't been successful. The Harlequins flankers are pretty fast and are gaining up on them. In other words, no gain yard is being made. So we have a scrum down there caused by a knock-on by Ken Muriithi. Jutumbi passes the ball to Sami Kakame. Kakame takes it and kicks it for safety. Brilliant kick there, although goes straight to the hands of Alan Wamanga, who raises it, who kicks it for an up and under, checks out. Felix Ocheng gets the ball and runs for safety. Pops the ball behind. But so far that wasn't a very good run by Felix Ocheng, not having gained any yard, just running across the pitch, which doesn't really help in rugby. Well, I guess we've now been joined once again by Eric Oganga and Nyongesa himself. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mike. We are in the second half of this live transmission from the Kenya Rugby Football Union of East Africa ground. This is the Enterprise Cup final between Kenya Harlequin and Impala. Impala in the red and white shorts, and Kenya Harlequin in the green, maroon, and actually Technicolor. And at halftime, we had Impala leading 10-8.
It's important to note that in the first half we had 7 lineouts, and out of all the 7, not even one was won by Impala. One wonders, is there any new strategy that they will have to go for?
I think Coach Bill Odongo has already had time to talk to the players, and since he was looking from outside, he has already noticed that the lineouts were not going quite well, and I think he's rectified, and I think Steve Omondi is going to get the lineout balls which he's supposed to get. In the meantime, this is a scrum down, and Fred Olo's looking to get his backs alight. And it is Fred Olo's again.
Alan Wamanga who comes in.
And Alan Wamanga giving it to Nick Olewe, but it is
Benjamin Naimba gets the ball, swing, he's tackled, gets out the ball. Philip Mwenesi caught up in a little bit of a small fracas there, not really having much to do with the ball anyway. Makanga gets the ball, knocks, spins, decides to go down on deck.
That's Charles Govey, but that is definitely a penalty because Jude Thumbi there was not looking at getting the ball. Instead,
I guess this has been one of the biggest offenses we've had so far today.
Just look at it again. That is Fred Olo's getting the ball out to Charles Ngovi, and there is Jude Thumbi infringing. He was actually in the offside position.
And so far we've seen this has been the biggest offense that both sides have been making. None of the teams are giving the other enough room, but that only tells you what kind of intensity there is in that game. There's so much rivalry in the game. People want to win the game. We see that they had the same kind of rivalry last week during the Enterprise, during the Kenya Cup tournament.
Kenya Cup final.
Yeah, and so I guess blood here should be boiling.
At such a level, you don't expect any of the teams to make some of the small mistakes which they make, but you never know. When you're on the pitch, it is quite different. That's a penalty for Kenya Harlequins, quickly taken by Sidney Obonyo.
And so far we can see that since Impala were in 10, the referee still gives advantage of playing 10 meters until that gain yard is met. Sami Kakame passes the ball to Felix Ocheng. Felix Ocheng is tackled. They go down for a deck. We can see that they're trying to slow down the game today. Kenya Harlequins have realized that if they try pacing up the game too much, it falls to their disadvantage.
And that's a penalty for Kenya Harlequins, a chance for them to go
1 point ahead.
To go 1 point ahead, because if they kick it, they go for the penalty. It will be 3 points. They already have 8 against Impala's 10. And it would be interesting to see whether they're going to change the kickers. But I think the captain, Felix Ocheng, is keeping faith with Jude Thumbi as the kicker.
Well, I guess it's setting up a ball.
That's Jude Thumbi.
Yeah.
His younger brother, Favent Thumbi, plays for
But I guess
the
if this
second
one goes in, it mounts the game, it intensifies the game, makes it, will force Impala to try waking up and make the game pretty fast for Harlequins so that they don't keep up. On average, you've seen that Kenya Harlequins forwards range between 95 kilograms, which is pretty heavy. In other words, if they keep the forwards running up and down, they may tire out and they may decide to take that and use it as an advantage for them.
And Jude Thumbi puts it in.
Successfully, so that makes the scores now to lie at 10. Impala and 11 to Kenya Harlequins.
That's Jude Thumbi's 7th minute.
Well, it almost looks like a replay of the first half, doesn't it? In the 7th minute, we had the second one made, the first score of the day being made, which made Impala go ahead. But this time, I guess, you never really know. Things are pretty tight for both sides. There we do have Ken Thumbi again on the... That's Jude Thumbi, rather. After the kick, Charles Ngovi waiting for a brilliant kickoff.
Charles Ngovi restarting the match after that penalty by and Kenya Harlequin making a change. Willie Kilimatinde going on number 18, and the person who is coming off is Joel Nganga, adding more weight into the scrum and a fresh pair of legs.
Yeah, that's a former student from Nairobi School. Fresh from high school, actually.
That's the first substitution we are having this afternoon in this Enterprise Cup final between Kenya Harlequin and Impala.
I predict that probably if the final score of this game may be won on penalty basis, not much of tries, because both sides are not really letting any pass. The defenses on both sides are pretty good.
And talk about the penalties that we have had Jude Thumbi kick over penalty, and now it is the turn of Nico Lewe.
Well, I guess the old habit comes back again, as
that is the scoreline: Quins 11, Impala 10.
Nico Lewe tries to make it 13 to 11.
And penalty kicking is not just something which is got to be taken for granted. It is an art, because we've got specialist kickers from both sides. On the Impala side, we've got Nicolai who can kick. We've also got Bill Odongo who can kick. And also, if the worst comes to the worst, Charles Govi also kicks.
And it is successful. Well, I guess once again, as I say, Doganga, well, the old trick dies hard, man. It's so far helping out Impala on the kicks.
The tide is turning, and then it's going to be looking like we're going to be looking for who has got the best kicker, because we have had 2 tries, one by Vincent Makanga, one by Felix Ocheng. Last weekend we did not have any try, but this time we've had 2 tries in the game. But then it looks like all the teams are not. They are so cautious about their approach. They really want to get ahead of the other team, because if you're ahead, you've got already have a psychological advantage, and I think that's what every team is looking for here. And the coaches of both the two teams, Ken Thimba, who is also the national 15-a-side coach, and Bill Githinji, who is also the coach of the national 7-side. It's a battle of 2 Kenya coaches, actually.
Sami Kakame trying quite a number of switches. So far he has tried them, but the Impala forward seem to be pretty woken up.
There's quite a good defense from both teams. The back row is quite awake.
Of East Africa is the Enterprise Cup final. Interesting action going on in here. And well, we've got the guys who are putting the money where the mouths are. The Guinness brand that is sponsoring the rugby in Kenya generally, and basically the Enterprise Cup. We've got the brand manager, Mr. Mulioto. Then we've got Elizabeth from the Guinness brand as well. Your feelings as the sponsor of this tournament?
I think the Guinness Enterprise Cup has come out very, very well. We are happy with this sponsorship. We have about just over 3,500 people today, and they are happy. The level of the game is quite good, it's interesting, and I think we've really helped bring out the power in people.
Well, Elizabeth, basically, as far as rugby is concerned, it's been an elite thing. And from the consistency we've had here for the last 5, 6, 7 weeks, we're having people who will normally be in a football stadium. Are you planning to expand the scope of rugby?
Well, I can't really talk about rugby specifically, but as far as Guinness goes, I mean, the crowd here today has been fantastic, and I think Guinness has really brought rugby with KBC to the people. So a lot more people are interested in rugby now. They're learning about the game. The awareness is growing. So hopefully this will mean bigger things for rugby next year.
Well, Lyoto, the fear has always been the sponsors will back the tournament short term for marketing gains. And what the sport generally needs in Kenya is a long-term plan. Do you have any?
I think this is what needs Guinness and KRFU to sit down and plan. And I think if they look at how well organized this has been, then it gives us a start. We can sit down with them and negotiate. But it begins with a good plan.
Well, basically, when we talk about the sport, we'll also be talking about the base. Whether there is support for the youth program as well, and that's what people are generally concerned about. Most of these players have matured through schools. Are we going to have a plan that digs deep into where the rugby players are springing from?
KRFU already has a plan in place for rugby development in this country, and they are extending it to schools and the like. So I am sure it's something that is in the pipeline.
Well, Elizabeth, the other thing is television coverage. It's the first time we're seeing a lot of live coverage for this year as far as rugby is concerned. Are we seeing more deals with possibly KBC to bring rugby to the people?
I think it will just have to depend on the success of this particular series, but certainly media awareness of the game helps tremendously, and at a particularly upcountry, you know, people can watch the match live, and that's fantastic. So we'd like to thank KBC for their support.
Well, that's you guys are having fun.
Absolutely, it's been a wonderful day. It's been great.
All right, thanks very much. You can continue watching the game. It's the final, Enterprise Cup final. It's live on KBC. Stay with us for the next 35 minutes.
Thank you.
Well, I guess the referee there thinks that the line out was not straight, and so Kenya Harlequins have the option of either taking a scrum down or having a repeated line out, and they opt for the scrum down.
And quite a heavy scrum, if you may ask me about the Kenya Harlequin scrum down. I think there's an average weight there of 90 kilograms.
Yeah. So you can imagine. And Impalas remain at around 85 kilograms. The heaviest person in the pack being Benjamin Ayimba, who is around 101 kilograms.
I remember the heaviest person before that was Wilson Kouko is in the US now. He's gone for further studies. And when I was talking to the Impala coach Bill Gidinji, spilling the ball out there. That's Charles Karovilis.
Quite a number of knock-ons over there. I guess the ball knock-on by Kenya Harlequins. Scrum down once again goes to
as I was telling Impala. You, Bill Gidinji was saying that he thought he's got to make a lot of positional changes, but let's have that run again.
Charles Karovilis seems to have come back into the game, passes the ball to...
It was Willie
Kilimatinde
who spilled that ball, the substitute Willie Kilimatinde.
Well, I guess these are some of the small things we do expect when you try flowing the ball to pack players.
But look at the score. They've got only 2 points separating these two teams. Quite a tight final indeed. And like we promised from the beginning of our commentary, wherever you are watching this match, I think you are having rugby at its best, being brought to you by Kenya Broadcasting Corporation.
That's right. This is the zenith of it all. The finals, the last game of the season.
After that, we're going to wait for the Rugby World Cup qualifiers. We have got to have the indomitable Lions, not the soccer team, but we're going to have the rugby team coming here for the World Cup qualifiers. on November 10th. And inshallah, we'll be bringing that one live to you as well from this very, very ground.
Oh, brilliant tackle there. Although Impala still managing to keep the ball, and so far they've been able to do this. They go for big tackles, they're given big tackles, but as long as you keep possession, much of the progress is not really made. Remember, the basic thing about getting a tackle is good defense and trying to keep the ball, trying to get the ball from you.
A penalty going Impala's way. A chance here for Impala to stretch their lead. And the captain, Benjamin Aimba, number 7,
left to make the decision. And
he's giving the ball to Olewe, and this time Olewe goes for touch. It's a wonder that he does not remove his right boot when he's kicking for touch.
And what a kick that is. Small boy is only 71 kilograms yet. Look at that kind of kick. Once again, as you were saying, Eric, this is a game that has skill. It requires skill to be a kicker.
Kicking is an art. And you know, when you look at most of the kickers, they need a lot of concentration, and they're so particular how they put that ball down, and they're so particular about the length of time they're going to take to kick, because it's total concentration. If you don't concentrate